And welcome back. We apologize for technical difficulties. They've been awful today, but we wanted to power through it. But as we've learned, magical world and electricity apparently don't mix after all. I don't believe that, but so far it's proving true. Anyhow, where we last left off.
What is this,
Um,
Harry Dresden?
I was about to say that. I wanted to say that so bad, and I didn't. Jim Butcher had it right all along. I'm sorry.
Totally fine. Um, Thank you, everyone who was participating and totally in the chat. And I hope you guys are coming back because we really loved you being here and coming up with way too many awesome names for one magical bird. But because you all did that,
the mascot.
Yeah, he's the mascot, and
It's not just a magical bird.
Yes, like it's the magical bird for this school. You know, we've got the crest right there, so to speak. Yeah, I know you all can see that. It's right there.
Yeah.
Zoom in and enhance. But because everyone gets such great names, I wanted to give that name. Well, I wanted to get the name of the first one that came to, but it happened to be Justin, and I'm glad it was because Justin, being our parent, Broad Strokes Productions, the Phoenix is actually his sigil. I'm stealing it from him. I feel it's appropriate that Justin gets named the bird Bedelia. So it's Bedelia Glimmer, aka Puffer Fluffy.
Fiddle Bill Puffer Phil.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's alliterative.
But we do have a new friend coming his way, and so
JJ goes up to the lizard, the basilisk, and is like looking at the rose-colored glasses, and is like, "Can I hold it?" And like puts his arms out to hold it.
I will let everyone help me decide what to name this one as well, because everyone gave such great names. So we'll let somebody else pick the name for this basilisk. Basilisk. It's hard to say. And she says, "Yeah, I think that's okay." And she looks at her TA, who is a girl about 16 years old with a very distinct look, is the way I'll describe that. And if you feel like asking for more details, I will give them to you. But
you said interesting before, and I imagined she was like holding an intelligentsia bag of coffee beans and like had a very, obscure Kafka book or something. Am I wrong in assuming that?
I'm sorry, say that again? I just realized I misgendered this character. Go on.
You said they were interesting, and so I imagine they were holding an intelligentsia bean coffee bag and like reading an obscure book by Kafka. I can only say that joke one more time, and then it's not funny
No,
anymore.
that's not.
When it becomes not funny.
That's fine. Thanks, Zach.
No, this is
What do they look like?
Okay, so this is a young man, but he has a very fair appearance. He is okay, so yeah.
He's fair,
also, just for the purposes of this class, Liana and Katie, you guys are you're present. Like your characters aren't present, but you're here. I don't want to leave you guys out of this.
You mean the other students?
Yes, you can be other students.
I was actually wondering about that during their divination class. I was like, if we're not.
Like I'm splitting the party, but I don't want you guys to be like twiddling your thumbs and waiting. Like you guys can participate. Everyone can participate. That's what I want us to do here.
Okay.
All right. So and I'm saying that also because I know that some of you have the ability to ask for more details, so I'm not going to give them all. So this person, they're about 16 years old with a very intense vibe. They've got brown hair and dark eyes, dark eyebrows, but they're alabaster pale mostly. They've got this patchy quality to their skin, very similar to what is it? Vitiligo. I don't know how to pronounce the word. I apologize. But do you all know what I'm referring to?
Yeah.
If
the
I'm
skin
remembering,
pigmentation
yeah,
disease.
yeah. If
Yeah.
I'm remembering correctly, Anahit also has very pale skin as well, and someone called her an immortal
Yes.
in my. They were saying like whispers, and I remember
You
overhearing
didn't
that.
hear it. She
I
heard it
thought
in her
I
head.
in her head. Oh, that's
Yeah, you
right. I
guys
didn't
didn't
Oh
hear
hear
that.
that.
That
yeah.
was something that she heard when
Dang
she was
it!
being sorted. None of you heard that.
As I take the basilisk, which I want to name Carol, I am looking at this person and not remembering any of those details.
Yeah. Okay. So this very intense teenager with patchy alabaster skin and dark features, um, kind of like not I don't want you to be like, oh, they're a jerk, but they're kind of like a little reluctant to just hand this over, but they allow it. So this is where you are going to make let's do a charm roll because I want to see how careful you are
Roll
here.
That's
a one.
been going so well for me today. Here we
Well,
go.
it ain't fight and it ain't grit. I don't know. I don't know what this is,
Zach,
Your dexterity. Huh?
did you do this on purpose, Zach?
Did I
Have
do
you
this to you?
cursed me? Have you cursed me today? Am I cursed? You have to
Are you
tell me
about,
legally
you
if
about
I'm
to drop
cursed.
this
Here's what we do though.
basilisk?
You
I got a
are
1. I rolled a 1, Kevin.
you rolled a
Oh, so you
1?
I
failed.
rolled a 1.
It's
You
what I
failed.
wanted
My
when it came into the
my
world.
D12. I get another adversity token.
You're welcome.
And I'm holding it. I think the reason I'm distracted is I'm holding it and I'm looking at Alex like, see, this is how you properly approach a creature that could potentially be, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing.
Do,
And
do
I'm
you want to? Do
definitely
you want to re-roll at this
No,
point in the evening?
I,
Oh,
I don't. I deserve this.
So
Alex deserves this.
so the professor turns when you ask if you can hold it. The professor turns to the TA and says, like Brom, and Brom is his name, holds up the basilisk to you but does not hand it over. And she goes, so everyone, this is Monty, and yes, he is a basilisk. Who can tell me anything about the basilisk? There's a lot of myths and rumors about the basilisk out there. And one of the students is like, yes, oh, amazing. Like everyone's like kind of in awe and shock and like thrilled they get to see this monster from their childhood nightmares up close.
They petrify people, right? I say and look back at Alex with a pointed look.
He goes, yes, they have the ability to petrify. Anyone else?
how is it not petrifying anyone or right now?
Okay. So Monty, as you see, he's wearing this headband with these rose-colored glasses. That is for our protection to make sure that he does not accidentally petrify everyone. But a basilisk doesn't always petrify. They can choose not to do it. They've got 2 translucent membranes over their eyelid. And when they use both eyes, they've got full vision and can see their full range. Dropping one of the eyelids increases its ability to see more of the color spectrum. So it can see in the dark, it can see colors that are outside what we can perceive in the visible spectrum. It can see radiation, okay? Dropping the second eyelid is what allows it to petrify. You see, the basilisk's eyes project a radiation that when it meets the ocular system, like the eyes of any living creature, it has this tricky thing that we're still figuring out, but essentially it corrupts the nervous system and creates a chemical reaction throughout the victim's bloodstream. And so the petrification process starts by creating a numbness that exists first in the heart and then works its way out through the bloodstream to the limbs. And then you start losing your senses, and then you suspend your ability to move. So what it's doing is it's not turning anyone to stone. That's a myth. But what it's doing is it's making it so that its victim is unable to move. And so this nervous kid goes, does it kill you? And she goes, well, it's not really the petrification that kills you. It's more that you no longer are able to breathe.
Sounds pretty dangerous.
Basilisks only can't eat petrified flesh, so it doesn't attack its prey with petrification. Some people think it eats stone, and she sees your hand. That was Alex, right?
Yeah, I put my hand up for a second.
She goes, some people think it eats stone, but a lot of reptiles eat rocks to help their digestive system grind down material. No, what it does is a parent basilisk will petrify prey to drag home to its babies. And so it's the babies that eat the petrified flesh.
Can you unpetrify something if it gets petrified, like with magic?
Yes, there are potions, there are spells. The potions are actually created by extracting basilisk venom and some of its digestive fluids. I don't really get into all that, but yes, there are of course cures to petrification, and we are well stocked here, so no one has anything to worry about. Another student asks, how big does it get? It says, well, if you guys open up, those who have the books from Plinley the Elder, he says he describes it as about 12 fingers in length. It tends to get about this big. It's just like it's not the biggest lizard. Basilisks also can be recognized because they've got 8 legs. So it looks like a snake, but it has 8 legs underneath it, which is why it doesn't have to serpentine when it moves. Unlike other serpents, this one moves straight ahead when it's trying to attack prey. But it really doesn't do that a whole lot. They're kind of lazy. They're very lethargic. They don't like to hunt like a lot of other animals. So they only really eat once a month.
Excuse me, Professor, where did you get its rose-colored glasses? Says the other student in the back. Where did you get its rose-colored glasses?
She says, well, we animal trainers have a lot of little equipment. So we have this little headband made that fits on its head. And we make sure it's a headband so it doesn't cover up its little hat. It's got a little hat. And she points to this like marking on the top that looks like a diadem. Basilisks have a crest. That's how like the phoenix does. They're related in that way. So you can tell. So we got a headband made so that we can protect his eyes without covering up the marking on top of their head. That's how you know that it's a little king. Basilisk means little king in Greek, and he's just a little king, and and starts petting it, and then one of the kids is like, oh, can we pet it? Like, yeah, you can pet it, but please keep your fingers away from its mouth. Its breath is very noxious. And points at you, Alex, because you had a hand.
Yeah. Do any of your other animals have such interesting little accessories?
Oh, yes, and I'm glad you asked because we're gonna get to. We got lots more friends to meet. But yeah, he's the first one who we've got glasses for because we don't want to cover up. What was her name? We don't want to cover up Glimmer's pretty eyes. Bedelia, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Or just say Bavita.
Bavita. This name is going to change every single time we talk about this.
It's not.
Like
No, it died and came back as the new name.
Yeah.
They rename it every time. Glimmer is the one constant because it's the closest thing that bird gets to a last name.
This poor phoenix that just wants to die and can't, and just keeps coming back. Oh, God, okay.
So she says, she goes on to say that just mind its breath. A lot of people thought that including Da Vinci, if anybody has Da Vinci's book, says that it's not necessarily the stare that kills, or when the stare won't suffice, that it will use its poison breath to kill all the plants and herbs in the area so that its prey has nothing to eat. Those with Neckham's book will also say that it's not the glare, but the air corruption is how he puts it, is the preferred tool of the basilisk. So it does have some very nasty breath.
AJ backs off and is like, must make everything smell bad.
It does smell very bad. It enough to where it can kill plants around it. It's not just like a bad smelling breath, but there's something about the heat and humidity, the nature of the breath that is venomous in a very interesting way. Now, a lot of people think that the basilisk is the enemy of the phoenix, or that the phoenix is the enemy of the basilisk, and that's not true. They are very similar in a lot of ways, but they are also very different. Now, the true weakness of the basilisk is the weasel. Did anyone know that? Yeah, it's actually the odor of the weasel, specifically its urine, that the basilisk does not like. And one of those things is like, def not, like, did not know that. Now, according to some legends, basilisk can, and then she kind of gestures to Brahm to move on. And she says, now some legends say that the basilisk can be killed by hearing the crow of a rooster. And that's not necessarily true either. It is a reptile, and like all cold-blooded reptiles, it likes to hang out in rocks in the sun, but it can't just stay in there. So it has an interesting relationship with sunlight. It kind of likes the sun, but it doesn't shy away from it either. So roosters don't tend to be a signifier that it has anything to worry about. And just to put everyone's minds at ease, if you should ever encounter a basilisk in the wild, the best way to handle it is just simply to run the other way. They are very lazy, kind of dumb. It won't be able to catch up to you, and it kind of doesn't want to either. Okay? Now, it is very protective of its young. So parent basilisks are very irritable, overprotective predators. So as long as you're not near a mama basilisk, you're not going to get petrified, and it's most likely not going to attack you, okay? And then, coming around the bend, does anyone have any other questions about the basilisk before we move on? This is my last chance before I continue. Okay, cool. Oh, Jesus. So coming around the bend is Brahm, carrying nothing. Just by herself. And the professor continues and says, now, the basilisk is alleged to be hatched when a cock, a male chicken, sits on the egg of a serpent or a toad, some sort of reptile. And that the way to prevent the reptile egg from turning into a basilisk is to throw the egg over the family's house, the family who finds it. Just if you find it in your yard, you take the egg and you throw it over your house. And if the egg should land on the other side without hitting the house, then it's no longer a basilisk.
Excuse me, is it like salt? Do you have to throw it over your shoulder? I'm just a kid in the class. I don't know.
Honestly, I've never really paid much attention to that legend because I don't know how you could throw an egg over an entire house without it landing on the other side and not breaking, which I think is how most people cured basilisks. And that kind of reminds me of how a lot of people tried to cure witches. So I'm not very fond of that myth. the basilisk is a very underappreciated animal. Its eggs are highly prized. It's known for having properties and benefits that the alchemists really appreciate, and on occasion is even a herald for some houses in Europe. Not nearly as much as the phoenix, but still more rare than what was going to be our next guest, the cockatrice. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a cockatrice to show everyone today.
Look at Alex. So hard. I'm looking into Alex's soul.
But the cockatrice is kind of the third member of this group of the phoenix and the basilisk. And the cockatrice, he's often forgot about between that pairing because he's a comparatively rare creature. And same goes as a symbol of heraldry. But he is a symbol of heraldry nonetheless. Yes.
Would it be smart to keep a cockatrice as like a pet or something?
I'm glad you asked that. Some people thought that having a basilisk would make for like a great guard animal, but they aren't very well trained. You can pretty much train a basilisk to have a guard, to be like a guard animal, because they can be like ours is born and raised in captivity and to be domesticated, and it can be trained in a sense that it recognizes its owner, which why it's a great guard creature. Right. The cockatrice shares a lot of similar qualities with the basilisk. Okay. But one of them is that it's not lazy. It prefers to hunt, and it's very much food forward. You know, it's focused on finding its next meal. And they're maybe even a little dumber, so not really a great guard animal or pet. No. Yes, young man.
Is that why you don't have one?
Well, we do keep one normally at this school because the cockatrice feeds on a lot of different animals, like rodents and pests. Sometimes insects, mice, snakes, small animals, but it's an omnivore, so it also eats berries and nuts, flowers even. And it's a ruthless hunter. It's constantly searching for food. So it makes for a great, not guard animal, but a pest animal. So we do keep one here at the school to kind of help clean up things and make sure that the castle is pest-free. And just so everyone's clear, we also give it rose-colored glasses as well. However, that's to help its temper, not because the cockatrice can petrify. That's a common mistake. You see,
They're still poisonous, though, right? I say, and then raise my hand after talking.
There's all these kids have questions like, yeah, but it's still poisonous. Oh yeah, what's its habitat? It says, well, let me start from the beginning. You see, the cockatrice, we actually don't know where the cockatrice's original habitat is. They're very popular around Greece and Europe and have spread around the continent in lots of different locales. Its name, just like the phoenix and the basilisk, is a French derivation of a Latin translation of a Greek word. This one means tracker. So phoenix is purplish red bird, basilisk is little king, our cockatrice is just a tracker. And you all can start naming in the chat. You guys can start naming a cockatrice if you want.
I feel like it's already got a name. Kevin, speaking out of game.
I'm gonna make it harder. I'm gonna make it harder for Alex because it has a name. I'm giving it a name. I wasn't gonna do that today, but I love what the chat's been doing, so we're doing it. And sorry, what was your question, JJ? Does it have poisonous breath?
Yes. It poisonous?
And the reason we don't really know, the reason we don't really know where the cockatrice came from is because way back before, it was constantly confused with the basilisk because they share similar properties. One of those being that it has poisonous breath or very putrid, foul-smelling breath. Yes.
If you were, say, just hypothetically, I don't know, bitten by a cockatrice, would you have to seek medical attention like immediately? You're going to lose any limbs or anything like that?
Yes. The cockatrice does not petrify with its eyes, but it does with a scratch of its talons or a peck of its beak. Some people call it the King Midas effect, but it's not that it turns you into gold. It just has a very similar petrifying effect. The good news is, it won't always do that. It's the cockatrice has a frenzied response to danger and usually flies into fits of rage when there's a female nearby or another male nearby because they are very instinctually competitive. But it's outside of that, it's not really prone to attacking. And when it does, it might peck, it might scratch, but usually it just squawks or beats their wings at you. What you really want to look out for is the tail. Yes.
So just to be clear, you have just one cockatrice on the grounds? You don't have more than one?
Yes, we only have the one because we don't want it to. We don't want it to compete with another cockatrice. You see, the cockatrice, which contrasting the phoenix, are mostly male, and they will create. They will either always looking for food or treasure, so that it can create a fanciful, shiny, gleaming nest. It wants to have a lair, and when it finds one, it sticks with it, and it wants to just embellish it and decorate it as much as possible so it can compete with the other males. And whoever has the best, most pimpin' lair is the best cockatrice. But if another cockatrice makes a better lair, then it will abandon it. The female cockatrice, which are very rare, and they're not really particularly fertile to begin with, but if they find that they continually lay infertile eggs, they will abandon their nest and all of their treasure because they might think that the place is cursed and seek out a brand new lair. And we don't want ours to think Havenhearth is cursed and seek out a new lair. So we only have the one.
Thank you.
Now,
if you get hurt, if you get hurt, can you add some spices or some medicinal thing to help you with the wound, or how do you help yourself? I've heard maybe like weed type fancy medicinal herbs might help, but I just rumor.
I don't know if
any or deny.
Take care of petrification. That would be a question for a herbology professor. Mostly it's a distilled venom or potion that takes care of petrification.
Just very nervous in general. Where specifically would, on campus, do you keep something like a potion to take if like a student was accidentally bitten by a cockatrice? Because you have one and you would want it to be pretty readily accessible, like immediately if a student got bitten. So like, where would that be specifically?
I want you to roll charm for me.
I don't want to do that. All right, here we go.
It's not what you think it is.
Oh, great. Whoa, baby!
Your things you're hitting on them.
Oh, great. I'm not. I got a 10. No, I didn't. I did. I got a 9 plus 1, so a 10. That's pretty good. I rolled it on a D10.
Okay. She's.
Do I succeed or fail? I need to know about my
apparent, but she's visibly confused. And she just says, again, the nurse's station is very well equipped for any ailments you would have, magical or otherwise.
Would they be opposed to me, like, just borrowing some of that anti-venom? Just because in case, I have a gorilla that tends to, sorry, he's an orangutan, that tends to kind of wander around without my...
How fast does it paralyze you? Whatever. How fast does that take effect?
Another student is asking, do you have a way to keep track of all the magical animals?
Yeah.
And now she's getting suspicious of everyone in the class.
What? I just am afraid my orangutan might get bit, and I want to know that if I can carry around some anti-venom. I feel like that's normal.
That seems safe.
Is that what you teachers were talking about in the cafeteria? Is that why they had to keep all those old people behind? Is that why there's that tall kid in this class?
She says, I want to ensure everyone that they are not in harm of being petrified by a cockatrice while they're at this school.
Or bitten. I mean, you said that's a thing that could happen, right?
Okay.
Didn't you just say you had one, but you can't find it?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Didn't you just say you had one, but you can't find it? You told us you had one, but you can't find it. Now I'm really worried. I need to write home to Mommy and Daddy.
She says... She says, the cockatrice that we have on school grounds doesn't petrify. It's not that kind of cockatrice.
Oh.
Do any of you know what happened to our cockatrice, though?
I was in the bathroom yesterday this is a lot of information for the whole class, but I was in there for quite a long time, and I felt a sharp pain in my ankle. When I was done, I was walking out, the lights were out, I didn't see what it was, and then my ankle really hurt, and then this morning, I don't know, it just keeps hurting, so I'm just worried. If you don't know where it is, it could be running around the school, and maybe I got attacked or bitten on my ankle. I don't know. Do you want to look at it? Would you be able to tell me? I pull up my pant leg and show her my bite mark.
Okay. This whole time, as the questions have gotten more intense and a little suspicious, Brahm has been staring harder and harder at you. And again, Braun has a very intense expression.
When you say you, please be specific.
Well, sorry, you, JJ.
Oh, great.
And the teacher looks at your ankle, which has a singe on it. And Professor looks up at Brahm and says, I think you should have the looks up at Brahm and then looks at you and says, I think you should have the professor look at that. That looks like it's quite the blister.
Did I just get burned? Literally, I forgot. Is it just a burn?
It's a burn.
God,
you just got a burn. Yeah, a noticeable one. That has not
just
healed.
A burn. I must have. You know what? I must have bumped up against the radiator or something in the bathroom. So you don't think it was anything like a bite or anything like that?
She says, no, that doesn't look like a bite or a scratch.
I'm okay. Okay, great. And I put my pant leg back down.
But you do look like you got a nasty burn there. Brahm, would you take sorry, what was your name?
JJ.
Thank you. Would you take JJ to Nurse Nedra, please? And Brahm says that, like, has this look of like, you want me to, and yeah, and even says like, you want me to escort him, like a chaperone?
I could take him if that's better. If you want me to go, if it's really too inconvenient. We missed half the class anyhow. We'll have to catch up.
He says, no, there's no need for anyone to miss any more of class, except JJ, I think you should get that looked at. But your friend can catch you up on what we've learned. That's very kind of you to offer. And then says Brahm, says, yeah, Brahm, and you can be quick about it. I think that'd be a good idea. Okay. So Brahm kind of like stubbornly comes over to you and and how do I want to do this? While I think on that, no, I got to solve this now. Brahm walks you around the corner out of view of the rest of the students and takes your hand, asks for your hand.
Okay.
And snaps their fingers. And you appear now, suddenly, in the nurse's station.
What?
So we're going to cut away from that. And we haven't been to divination in a while. So let's get back there real quick. Actually, no, we're running out of time. I'm so sorry, divination class. I'm just gonna wrap up. I'm gonna wrap up magic zoology, and then I can devote a proper class to you guys next week. Because the rest of you get the rest of the lesson. She says there's another variety of cockatrice that is even rarer than the one you're all familiar with the petrification thing. And just a reminder, she says, oh God, you guys are really throwing me off. Okay. She says, there's a lot of myths about the cockatrice, that its stare is how it petrifies, that it turns your flesh to, when it petrifies, it turns your flesh to stone, and that it's vulnerable, or that it's immune to fire. And that's not true. Like the basilisk, the weasel does have a bit of an immunity to the cockatrice's venom, and as such, it is a natural enemy against the cockatrice. The rooster crow thing is actually more apt to the cockatrice than it is to the basilisk because it's not prone to sunlight. So if anyone were to want to deter a cockatrice, all they have to do is shine sunlight at it. It's a very basic spell that we teach you on day one.
Boy, that would have been
the other
nice to know.
weakness, yeah. The other weakness that a cockatrice has is fire, unless it is a pyralisk cockatrice, and that fills out the foursome that I like to introduce to everybody on the first day, because these four animals are so very related. Our cockatrice that we have, which his name is Snicken, has red wings and a single red tail feather that does not petrify flesh, but ignites a flame. It can turn flesh into fire. And it's this bird that is truly thought to be the mortal enemy of the phoenix. Because, like the phoenix, it has similar features, being a solar bird that can ignite itself a flame, is immune to fire, and is most commonly bright red. That is the cockatrice we have. And again, should anyone come across the cockatrice, they don't have to worry about its glare, especially ours, because we gave rose-colored glasses to help it keep calm. So as long as you don't attack it, you should be fine. But you can always just shoo it away with bright sunlight, or get it to find something shiny and it'll get distracted real quick. You had a question?
It wouldn't try to hurt the phoenix, would it? They're not like enemies, are they? If there was one.
No. Again,
Oh, okay.
people just like to claim that they're enemies because cockatrices don't like shiny male or shiny birds that is either trying to impress or surpass. So being very dumb, they kind of get confused with phoenixes. It's not that they hate each other. It's just when it sees another male bird, solar bird, it thinks it might be trying to compete with it.
Mhm.
And the phoenix is just a good bird that wants to protect others. So if it sees the cockatrice trying to do harm, it usually tries to make sure it doesn't do harm. And those are the 4 birds that we're going to get into today. We'll get into more detail about each one of them. But we're not going to talk about any other solar birds, like I mentioned before, or because there's so many out there, other solar beasts like the chocodri, which is also a Greek and solar magical beast. But we're just gonna start today with our friends. So, does anyone have any questions? And that's where we're going to end that class. And the night. Because you all have split up even further now. And I've got a lot to juggle for next week's session. When we revisit next week, we will resume Intro to Divination with Anahit and Paris. We're going to find out what the next visit to the nurse's office is going to be like for JJ. And then, and then Alex, we'll figure out what to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Does Paris get to use potentially her role next week, since there wasn't any really opportunities for either Paris or Anahit? Is that, what was that?
I feel really bad because we.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to double check right now. Like, I'll write it down on my schedule thing just to see one way or the other.
Yes, I'm not going to punish you for not really having a whole lot to do today. Okay. I even feel bad because I want to find out what everyone's most inspired moments are, and that includes the chat as well. I want to hear what your guys' favorite moments from tonight's session were, but I just feel bad that I didn't give like any to you, Anahit, which is a shame because, well, I don't want to spoil next week's class, but you play a large part in it.
Yay.
I had this all planned out to where everyone was going to have their moment in the sun, and then it just went to fucking hell.
Yay! Dungeons and Dragons.
Damn cockatrice.
Blame the bird.
Say that again?
Just the damn cockatrice.
Yeah, the tireless cockatrice.
Yeah.
Someone has it.
I feel so betrayed. Sorry, JJ feels so betrayed.
Why? JJ doesn't know anything.
Talk it out, everyone.
Betrayed? You betrayed the crap. He knows. After this class, and it's missing, and it turned my skin. It turned my skin to fire. It turned my skin to fire. What the heck?
You got lucky on your roll.
Yeah. What the? I use my skin. Hey, guess what? I use my skin every day, and now it's been turned to fire. Thanks a lot. Listen, this is the argument we're gonna have later.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening, guys?
I'm just saying that when he said roll a charm, I was rolling to charm you, and I got a dirty 20. So I don't know why you're so suspicious.
Listen, bro, you didn't charm me. You didn't charm me at all. Let's see. Gosh,
that moment, way back when, you succeeded, but then the truth came to light.
She was like, "It's missing."
Well, yeah. Which we need.
I was also interrogated by 2 very intimidating teachers for like 20 minutes about where this college was, where I was. Like, I just got good cop bad. This school hates me. Thanks a lot. Let's see, inspiring moments. But that interrogation was fun. I loved being stuck in the room with Paris and Diamond rooting around in the trash can and freaking everybody out. Was hilarious. I appreciated that. Man,
I'm most inspired by random Cockney kid, as played by Katie Tillich.
Oh yeah,
I just found that character very funny.
I was gonna have that kid right at the end, and then you ended it. I was gonna be like, "My friend next to me says that she wants to know if a basilisk, what happens if you sit on a frog egg." I was like, we didn't get that question answered, and I was like, "Dang, that was like." I kept waiting for that to be answered.
I saw that. I do not have an answer for that question.
Oh, that's fair.
But based on all of the research I did, I would say nothing. It's so the basilisk and cockatrice thing. The lore is that when, and this is what I love, when a normal chicken sits on the egg of a normal frog, or vice versa, a magical beast is born. When the magical beast does anything like that, nobody cares. No one's ever thought about that.
It either makes a normal chicken or a normal frog, obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, there's your answer, I guess.
Yeah. It reverts. That's a great question, by the way. Does Alex have roommates? I can't wait for after divinations class next week.
Yeah, I was gonna seamlessly weave that answer in when you guys were talking about stuff because there's still plenty to talk about. Alex does have roommates. Everyone has roommates. Alex, you hit. do we talk about it or?
Yeah, that was my favorite moment. I think it's like
you hid it under your bed with a Danish, and it was like it'll stay there.
We don't know what it is. All we know that is the food is disappearing under there. We don't know that there's right. We don't officially know that there's anything.
Oh no,
we saw it today.
Oh yeah, we did. I'm sorry,
You had a long day.
I blacked out for a second.
Yeah, I mean, none of your characters have seen it, but we all know now. We as people know that he hid a cockatrice under his bed, and is now. I mean, did you shove it under another bed?
It's just put it under the bed with some stuff. It totally doesn't go anywhere.
It was on the bed when he opened the door and like Nagby was coming in. So I pictured you just covering it with blankets, but you never said that.
No. What I did was I just made him not open the door for a second, and then coaxed it.
He pulled the old "I'm naked" trick.
Yeah.
But
that was pretty inspiring.
Use that room.
Well, I think the inspiring part was I got to put my other leg in.
Yeah, the song and dancer on that was fun. Man, I liked making a blood pact with Paris on the fly without actual blood. That was fun. I don't feel like we're gonna regroup as a foursome until like 9 episodes from now. I feel like I'm probably gonna be murdered by the time day is over. I'll be turned into like a flaming brisket from this wound.
It'll happen sooner than that. My plan was I had this format of how I was going to structure it to where I was going to follow JJ. No, I was going to follow Alex being led to class so we could start with that lecture. When the cockatrice came up, I was going to be like, but ours is missing. Jump to the interrogation about it being missing in the room. Cover you two guys. And then after that, then follow Paris to divination. But everything got all jumbled around.
With where Annalise at. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then we get into what I've got in store for Anahit.
Yeah, whatever her sketchy ass passes. Or what's the reasoning? It's like killing me. I'm like, is she like a vampire, like person who can see into the future? What is that? What does that mean?
Oh my God, I love your fan theories. And I can't say a word about them. I can't say a word about them.
I know this person you kept being like, they're interesting or they're different. I was like, what is up with this person? Are they the same kind of person? Are they just like really into Morrissey and they want everybody to know about it? What makes this person interesting?
You got a good look at them. You never the problem is, y'all, chat, everybody, is 2 of you have an ability where you are allowed to ask for more details. Like that's one of your strengths. And I don't want to qualm that by offering all the details up front and then having nothing to give you. Like that would just ruin your strength.
That's not my strength.
That's not for you to know, JJ.
I should have made it different. I should have min-maxed my character different.
Do I have to look at my character sheet? Because I'm confused as well.
No, it's cool. You got a good look at them, so we'll probably get into it. We'll probably get into it soon.
Well, I'm excited. I can't
I don't
wait.
know that everyone's going to get to meet this person anyway, so.
Well, they apparently can snap their fingers and just teleport around. That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Braum.
Braum.
Braum
Oh
Stoker.
yeah. When did he come into play? All of a sudden there was Braum, and I was like, I've been listening this whole time.
Braum is
Which
the
one? Is he the
TA.
auburn hair? Is he the auburn hair guy?
No, that is Kel Antari. He did give his last name, Professor
Oh,
Antari.
Kel. Okay.
He's a professor that none of you have. And Braum is essentially the teacher's assistant for Magizoology.
Okay. Did we get a character description of what he looks like or no?
Yeah, a little bit. I'll refresh your memory. Why not? There's a lot of characters.
It's just, oh yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I remember people. So that's why I was like,
I'm going to tell the chat that every one of these characters is significant. And if you all pay attention real hard, at the end of this whole show, we're going to have a contest.
We're going to have a test of all the stuff you taught us.
Sorry.
I did take notes on the divination. I thought Leon and I were going to get tested, so I was like, oh no.
Oh my God! Can you hold your notes up longer, please? That is the most adorable thing I've ever seen.
Well, I mean,
let everybody see your doodles
a little bit. But which one? You know, all the important little bullet points.
The fortune cookie thing was just a fun anecdote I wanted to share.
All right. I'll put it away. I'll delete those notes. I'll erase them.
I found out that the fortune cookie actually no one can agree on where the fortune cookie came from. So I like to believe that it's wizards having fun, but nobody knows.
Before you give this description, my vote for inspiring moment is probably Alex saying, "I'm naked, don't come in."
Yeah, or putting on his pants. A combo of that.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Just all of that.
Yeah, chat, sound off. What are your favorite moments?
I love that moment. I'm naked.
I know that Twitch wasn't working for some people and still got my eye on the YouTube. Twitch wasn't working for us either, so don't worry, we're all in the same boat now. Yeah, that was a really good moment. I appreciate JJ really putting the pressure on Alex. That wasn't a singular moment, but I think that as a character choice is really cool of you to keep pressing on that.
Friends don't lie to friends, friend.
Yeah, but at the same time, you had no problem lying to the teacher. That's pretty good too. You handled that way better than I thought you would.
Yeah, bro, go to the mat for your friends/family. But the teachers, also wasn't super happy with that, but I don't want to out my gang of folks. It's actually pretty toxic, the attitude that JJ has toward friends and authority.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, that interrogation scene was intense, especially when she was like, I don't know how it came up that she was a telepath, but I was like, oh crap.
Wait, we didn't get Braun's description.
Yeah, I was holding off to let everyone. Yeah, and then okay. So the description you did get was Braun has a very intense appearance. Just their whole vibe is intense. They have brown hair, dark eyes, dark eyebrows, but an alabaster pale complexion.
Oh, it's the super white guy with a vitiligo, or however you say it. That's right. Okay. Gotcha. I remember that now.
Can you please pronounce that for me? I don't know why. Vitiligo. It's similar to that. It is. We're in wizard country. It's a magical version of it, which we'll get more details on. But what you all can tell is that he has a model complexion.
Gotcha.
And a stubborn attitude. You got a bit of that too. You saw that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Amber in the chat says that her favorite and most inspiring moment was Katie joining the group of students, just jumping right in as new kid.
With
Awesome.
the ever-changing Cockney accent that I enjoy.
I know. I was like, I don't know where I am. Help me. This is a choice. I should have done it.
This poor child has been lost in the woods, and the class happened upon them.
Oh, God.
I think we should also gotta give props to Anahit for being so patient to get to her divination. And
To be
also
fair,
recapping very well.
Well, and she did figure out the suggestion of somebody was saying Monty, and then wasn't that you, Liana, who said Monty Python in the whole thing? And I was like, oh my God, I never would have gotten
She also
that.
came up with Snicken.
Oh, the name's
Snicken as well.
The name
I wanted to
caller.
go for Carol because Carol Basilisk.
Oh,
wow.
Oh my God. I liked Honeycomb as a suggestion. That was one of the Amber in the chat gave. But one is entirely red, and two, because Amber came up with Monty, I wanted to give it to somebody else. So, so we got
that's fair.
Monty, Bedelia, and Snicken. Snicken was clearly named by the professor, Professor Penwalton, who gave another silly nickname to something that did not need it.
Yeah, what a character you've created of this like Midwestern, like just. I was like, who is this character? She's so interesting. The way she interacts with all of her animals. Yeah.
Can I let you in on a secret? Because it's mostly just us. There's a few people watching. Okay, again, people in the chat, pay close attention to all of the characters. There's a theme happening here. Except for Miss Penwalton. Miss Penwalton, the characterization of her is inspired by our good friend Annalisa Hubbard.
I knew it. I knew it.
I am doing my best Annalisa Hubbard impression talking to animals.
Oh my God.
As you did that, I was like, I know what this is an homage to. I knew it.
That's adorable.
She doesn't know.
Is that anything like her character was at your camp, or is this like, I don't remember.
No. Her character at the Wizarding LARP, Eris Jade Palanskar, is British and much more on top of it. So when I actually had to give an actual lecture, I took a little bit of inspiration from that, because she would prattle through a lecture and, give fun facts, but then kind of try to make it amusing, but was very much information first. But the name calling, the cute animal names and all that stuff, calling this guy, he got a little hat, this guy, that's all Annalisa.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Because she really wanted to be part of this, this party, but she now lives in England, so time zones. Yeah, she's doing the first-hand research.
The fun hand research.
Sorry, I don't know why I said that. I'm really hot. These robes are very hot. Anywho, okay, so let's open up the votes to the chat, to all of you officially. I guess we are voting for.
So for me, I go with the underwear moment.
For Paris as surprise Cockney child. We are voting for Alex's pretending he's half naked to keep Tom at bay. JJ thwarting off the teachers, or Anahit just being awesome. You had very little interaction, Anahit, but with the professor, but you actually laid some real good foundation for what is about to come. So I like that you're already not taking her shit.
I also loved your interaction when Paris came in and you like did the little wave. It was so like, it was a perfect way to get her in the class, and I feel like it's helping our party like come closer together faster, because we haven't spent a lot of time, like the four of us, especially in class. So like that was really nice, because like, yeah, that's us growing as characters. So I appreciated that as well.
I kept feeling like Anahit needs to really actually like make an effort with Paris specifically. So I was like trying to like do a little bit of that.
Even though Paris has got this weird thing with your skin.
Whatever. But it was nice with the way that classroom was shaped, where it wasn't just individual chairs, but the risers to like be able to literally be like, hey, what's up? I just thought, like, in my mind, I was replaying that moment. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man, I knew you'd be coming in late.
Well,
I will vote also for Alex's. I'm naked.
I just like that. I gotta get my other leg in. So dumb. So
How does this person get dressed?
It's one of those things that, like, I don't feel like Tom bought it and was like, that's what he's doing, but it's not like it was probably rendered so uncomfortable by the premise.
Something like, you never say, I don't believe you. When someone's like, I'm naked, you don't go,
yeah, exactly.
Right. Well,
like,
even him coming out under the bed, it was so awkward that it was like, it's got to be believable because he's so awkward. And you're just like, oh, like, that would just remind me of something like Steven Universe would do. Like, I guess that's not in the right time frame, but like, that's something he would do.
Oh, he was totally our Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm voting for Alex and the nakedness.
You did it.
Sounds like a band name. Alex and the nakedness.
It's actually
gosh, it does. You know what? That's the band no one's ever heard of that Brahm had on his T-shirt. That's why he was so interesting. Man.
Okay. Thank you for casting your votes, you four, and everyone else in the chat. We will get the results of those next week. I will actually tell you what they are this time. We're also gonna get the results of what's actually happening in the divination class and everything that JJ has said and all of the speculation that is now surrounding him by so many members of the staff.
God, I need to write these lines down. Oh no.
Yep, it's all going to come to light next week, Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Walk on Rolls, Dungeons and Detentions. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. This was a hot mess, but I hope you all had fun.
Sneak peek, it's going to be called JJ Goes to Jail.
Called Dungeons and Detention.